Well, g'day guys and welcome to another episode of the Bounce Accounts. As you can see here, I am back in my bedroom. It's not actually the studio. It is bitterly cold at the moment and I forgot to turn the heater on, so I decided I want to get this video out quickly. And so, boom, doing it in here. So quality might not be as good, but you'll still get the excellent insight from myself. So this is a transfer deadline day sort of wrap. Go through my top 3 best deals, worst deals, and at the start right now I'm just going to go through some of the major deals that went through last night. A very interesting transfer deadline day. Obviously Sky, especially in the UK, for UK viewers, but in Australia, it's overnight for us. But every year it's built up to be probably the biggest day in the football calendar, basically. Bigger than the final day of the season, bigger than the first day. It's deadline day of the 2 transfer windows that it goes off. So before we heard rumours about Falcao going to Madrid, there was that sort of rumblings. Would Arsenal sign a big name striker? They were in for Falcao. In the end, would Liverpool, Chelsea make any deals, even though they said they were done for business, basically? And would any of those lower clubs actually end up making that sort of move that pushes them up a scale? And I know one team, and a lot of comments went through, were definitely the biggest movers. So just going through the biggest deals of players who have come into the Premier League. So Falcao's obviously come on in a long season loan to Manchester United from Monaco. Interestingly enough, Monaco have basically got rid of all the players they signed last year to make them a big force, pardon me, a big force in European football. So their little experiment has gone pear-shaped. Also, Michael Keane from Manchester United has gone to Burnley on a long season loan. Good for him to get first team football, even though he has been on the bench the last couple of games. Also from Manchester United, Nick Powell has gone to Leicester. Another move for a player to come into the Premier League. What's good for them. And a big news for Arsenal fans was the signing of superstar Danny Welbeck for £16 million. Obviously, Oliver Giroud was out now till after Christmas and January, so they needed a striker to lead the line after Sonogo has been, quite honest, very poor. So he's come in. Big move of the day also for Hull City was signing Newcastle United Haytham Ben Afra, who the last couple of years has been excellent, just has problems with his attitude and his weight lately, so he's had a little bit of a problem. Also, Tom Lawrence has signed for Leicester City from Manchester United for a $1 million deal. Good little move for them there. Another Manchester United product who hopefully will get some game time there. Kevin Doyle has signed for Crystal Palace from Wolverhampton Wanderers, where he has been on the outer for the last 2 years since their relegation from the Premier League. He played in the year when they played in the Championship, but they got relegated and he only scored 1 or 2 goals, I think. Then last year he was a part of an infamous group, obviously I know this from being a Wolves fan, of the group, the third group they called them, had Roger Johnson, him, there was about 8 or 9 players, Jamie O'Hara finally left, that they just weren't playing, that they couldn't find deals because those players still wanted to stay on their massive wages, and Wolves were happy to let them sit. They just wouldn't play and disarm the squad, so they actually trained away from, wasn't the first team, they didn't even train with the reserves, they trained by themselves to keep themselves fit. Was it Toby Alderweireld, I think that's how you say it, has signed for Southampton from Atletico Madrid on a long season loan. A lot of loan deals, because clubs with now financial fair play could not get a lot of deals done through transfer fees, so they had to loan players. Another interesting move was Morgan Amalfitano for West Ham from Marseille. It's only on a 1-year deal though, but if he stays, obviously, if he plays well, he'll obviously stay for a year later. And then Nico Crankshire is back with Harry Redknapp at QPR, just like it looked like Jermaine Defoe would come back. And I was surprised there was no rumours of Peter Crouch going to QPR, as much as we know that Harry Redknapp loves his other players he's always signed. Also, interesting signings was Man City getting rid of Alvaro Negredo, but not signing a replacement. Also, Osama Asaidi from Liverpool has gone to Stoke again, so that will make it 2 years he's been on loan there. They couldn't agree a deal after Liverpool were looking for $7 million for the player, and Stoke were only willing to pay around 4 or 5. So that deal didn't get done. Gustin Ramirez has also gone to Hull City, which is an excellent deal for them, from Southampton on another long season loan. And I will not be able to say this correctly, but Newcastle United centre-back Mapu Yawanga Mbia has gone to Roma on a loan. Sandro has gone to QPR from Tottenham. Michael Richards has left Manchester City for Fiorentina. James McArthur for $7 million to Crystal Palace. Everyone's favourite player when you play as Arsenal, to put him on a wing, Rio Miyachi has gone to FC Twente. Going now here, Daley Blind has signed also. That was a deal that a lot of us knew was going to happen. It was just a matter of time when it would get done. Then moving into the end of the list here, Hull City also signed Mohamed Diame from West Ham United for 3.5 million. A very busy day for them. Sebastian Coates signed for Sunderland from Liverpool. Lewis Holtby finally left Tottenham for Hamburg. He's a player who hasn't really lived up to his massive billing as a player when he came over when a lot of clubs were in for him. Abel Hernandez has signed for Hull City too for just under 10 million from Palermo. Pardon me, a very good signing for them. They've nearly got a whole different midfield now, what's excellent. Hull City are going to be pushing on, I think, this year. Surprisingly, as the city of Hull is not distracting players to come and the style of play, they look like they've signed some very good players, pardon me, so it's going to be an interesting season for Hull now. Javi Hernandez, or Chicharito, has signed for Real Madrid on loan from Manchester United. And basically, that is all the big deals from the transfer window. So the massive talking points that I just wanted to get through, guys, was my 3 best deals. I have to say, despite the wages, the way that they pulled off that Falcao deal, especially after, if it was, obviously they've had the nude, was it hacking scandals at the last couple of days, pictures being released, but we all saw the tweet, and I'll try and put it up there. Of Falcao tweeting that he was going to Madrid, Hala Madrid. We all thought he was going to go there. It looked pretty promising. A lot of reports for a couple of weeks, and obviously his agent is the same one as Ronaldo and Rodriguez, all those guys, and he's earned over 35 million in this window alone from deals that he's pushed through. So just going to be very interesting to see how Falcao does, because we all know before deadline day that Manchester United needed to work on the centre mid and the centre back positions. Probably even on the right-hand side of the defence, working on a wing-back there also. Surprisingly, that wasn't a lot of talk on that position, and a centre-back, and maybe another midfielder, because the midfield's very tight. In the end, they get rid of Welbeck and Hernandez and bring in Falcao. Okay, Falcao's on around $6 million a year was the fee that they paid to Monaco to loan him, and then he's getting paid the most out of any Premier League player, £325 million a week. So basically, as I'm talking right now, and I do this with, he's probably just made... It's more than I make in a whole shift. Made that right then. So in the end, I think that's probably, it's going to be the biggest gamble. I'm putting that either as the best deal of the summer if it does well, but where does he play? You've got Rooney, you've got RVP, you've got Mata, you've just signed Di Maria, you've still got Januzaj, who reports were saying he was going to leave. He's an up-and-coming player. You've got players in that squad. In the end, though, Woodward has probably had the biggest window nearly out of anyone ever. When you think about the players that he has signed, I'll just get them up here. He's brought in Herrera, Luke Shaw, Roger, Angel Di Maria, and Daley Blind, and then signed Falcao. That's a full new team. If that was a whole new team, if that was Monaco last year, you'd be saying excellent window by Monaco. They've done well for themselves. The next probably big deal for me is all of Hull City's deals, signing Hayden Ben Afra, Gaston Ramirez. So that's another attacking talents. I remember Ramirez was linked to Liverpool for a long time. Liverpool have had luck, even though our signings haven't been great over the last couple of years, like with Barini, etc. I'll talk about him in a second. We've actually done well with some of those players that Tottenham ended up getting. Sigurdsson and Dempsey obviously left straight away nearly, and Ramirez was linked to us, and we decided to pass on them because they were wanting too much for the fees. And in the end, that's worked out well for us. Diame adds Steele into the defensive position of the midfield, and then you've got Abdul Hernandez, who can really play anywhere in the attacking half and up front as sort of a second striker. So that's an excellent window for those guys, especially on the final day of the season, doing all the business to the end. Not many teams can pull through 4 deals. And then probably for me, another big deal is probably Crystal Palace picking up James MacArthur. I don't know, obviously $7 million is probably a bit steep, but in the end, they've signed a player who was last year one of the best in the Championship, and really he's a Premier League quality player. And Crystal Palace need that in their squad, especially with the couple of things that have gone on lately. With them getting the new manager, the squad probably not being as good, especially with Tony Pulis getting the best out of them last year. But that's a massive signing. And finally, the other one I want to talk about is Sandro signing for QPR. A player who I rate really highly, and I think Tottenham have done poorly to get rid of him when they've got other players in the midfield that are just not good enough. There's Moussa Dembele, Mr. Swingy Hips, just that's all he really does. Then you've got Paulinho, even though he made the World Cup squad, he was quite poor last season, I think, and he didn't live up to the billing, and I don't know whether this year that he's going to be the right player for Tottenham. I think Sandro was sort of underrated and just wasn't used enough when the PE teacher came in and coached them last year. So I think he's going to be a big deal for Queen's Park Rangers, will be their main centre midfielder, And he can play anywhere in that sort of midfield, especially in the diamond, in the three. He can play any of those positions adequately enough. Now, just talking about some of the players who didn't get deals done. For me, it's quite interesting. As a Liverpool fan myself, as you can see, Fabio Borini ended up staying at Liverpool. Now, we know that Sunderland were in for him all window and basically waited till the last day to get this done. They were going to pay Liverpool £14 million and the fee was agreed. Borini just wanted to stay and fight for his place at Liverpool. This is even before Mario Balotelli had come to the club. So now, before Balotelli comes to the club, Borini's happy to stay, and then he's probably third choice striker. So you've got Sturridge, then you've got, Ricky Lambert, and then you have Borini. Obviously, then there's Markovic and Sterling, depending on what formation they play, who can play up front as sort of a second striker role. Then Balotelli comes in. Wouldn't you be thinking, now my career's sort of done? Okay, you want to fight for it, and I love that he's trying to fight for the position at the Liverpool team. But there's just no need to try and do that, to be honest with you. There's no need to stay and, especially in his development. He's 22, 23 now. This is probably coming into the most important year of his development. It's time for him to move on, even if it was on another loan. Okay, Liverpool wanted to get the cash for him, that's fine. But in the end, you just have to get rid of him. Obviously, we wanted to get rid of him, but he just needs to leave. Then QPR come in for him on the final day of the year. I think Borini's only on about £50,000 a week to sit on the bench. QPR basically offer him, you're our number one. You're going to play up front, you're going to be our main man, because obviously Remy's left, so they need to spend that money to get another striker in. Obviously, they don't have that name anymore, or probably don't want to spend way too much on a striker. What's in their own rights? They don't. We know what happened last time when they were signing all these big name players that then they got relegated and they had to sit them all on the wage book, and they were paying $100,000 a week to players that weren't playing. The same with the Wolves sort of problem. So Borini's gone, I want 90k a week. Who's going to pay Borini 90k a week? He wasn't even good enough last year to get that amount of money. So in the end, he's decided to stay at Liverpool, probably fifth choice striker now. His career is going to go down the gurgler from here. I think January there'll be loan deals he'll be looking to get. He's going to hope that, touch wood, there's no injuries, but he'd be, obviously as a striker, he'd be hoping for probably an injury to one of the players, or he's just hoping he scores some goals in a League Cup or in the Champions League that he gets to go. But it's not even like the seasons when we have Europa League that you'd play him up front. He's probably going to start playing reserves. Pardon me. So that's basically the end of the video, guys. What did you guys think was the best deal on transfer deadline day? And did it live up to the billing as every year? It nearly falters, but I think this is probably the best we've had in a long time. The one thing I ask you guys is, why do clubs get or apply for an extension when they can't get a deal done? Isn't the idea that it's a deadline and you've just had another 2 months to get all your deals done, and then you now decide, well, I've got to leave it to the last day? So what do you guys think of that with the Welbeck and Falcao deals, using having to get extensions to complete the deals? So pardon me, guys. Thank you for watching this video, and if you like it, please click the subscribe button. It should be up here somewhere above the top. Please give it a like, and please stick around and find out on detail about our new live show we'll be doing every Wednesday. We're working out a time whether it will be 6:30 or 8:30 South Australian time to get that one out to you guys. It will be on YouTube. We've worked out how to do it, and it is sounding really good. So mostly at the start we'll be doing, as we said, it's going to be football, and then another day of the week, depending on how that goes, we're doing an AFL, and cricket will be alternating with which seasons it's in, and then we'll be having the multi-purpose sports show that will have all the other sports that you guys can care about. So cheers for listening, and we'll catch you guys soon. Ta-da.